Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a special video for you guys. I'm going to go through every single legendary lord in Total War Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires and tell you whether or not they can be revived after they've been eliminated, and also how to revive them, what province you need to cause a revolt in order to bring them back, if it's possible to do so. Another thing to keep in mind, that if a legendary lord is confederated from their faction into another faction, they are permanently part of that faction. So for example, if Morathi is confederated into Naggarond, and then Naggarond is destroyed, and you cause a revolt at the ancient city of Quintex and bring back the Cult of Pleasure, Morathi will not be revived. You actually have to bring back Naggarond in order to bring her back because she was confederated into it. Alright, with that being said, we're going to start from the top of the list and go down from the bottom in terms of how the select character screen goes. So starting with the High Elves. So this campaign here was sent in a little while ago. It had almost a full map completion, so I was able to test a bunch of revolts to see who can and cannot be revived. So this was a really useful one. Okay, it was the Lava or Ragnarok one. Anyway, so Etain, or Tyrion, is brought back from Etain. It should be any one of these regions here. If you cause a revolt in them, he'll come back. Alright, Teclis is revived at the Star Tower. So we've actually got a revolt over here. And if that revolt succeeds, Teclis will return. Unless he's been confederated out of it, which I'm not entirely sure in this campaign. Alariel is revived at Avalon, pretty sure any one of those settlements, if you cause a revolt there with... that's another thing as well. You have to make sure that in all cases for reviving a faction, you have to have a minimum of 70% untainted. Even if it's like a vampire count or Skaven, you have to get rid of their corruption in order to bring them back. Alright, so next up is Lithanar. Now, Lithanar actually has two provinces that he can come back from. He can come back from Naggarith, as you can see over here. He's coming back here. Or he can actually come back at the Black Coast. So, if you cause a revolt at any of these 5 settlements, Naggarith can return. Next up is Eltharion. Eltharion is revived at any region in Yvres. So, over here, he's coming back if he succeeds at taking Trilinia. And then the last one is Imric. So Imric starts his campaign over here at the Fortress of Vorag. And if Imric gets eliminated, he cannot be revived. It's not possible to revive the Knights of Caledor, no matter where you cause a revolt. If you cause a revolt at Caledor, it brings back Caledor. It doesn't bring back Imric. Okay, next up are the Dark Elves. Now, the Dark Elves, I think, are one of the only races in this game that can actually revive every single one of their legendary lords. So, to revive Naggarond, or to revive Malekith, I suppose, you have to cause a revolt at Naggarond. I believe he can come back from any one of his 4 regions in this province, but that's how you revive him. Morathi is revived at the ancient city of Quintex. As you can see here, we managed to cause a revolt there. Hellebrun is revived at Harganeth, as you can see here. Malus Darkblade, even though he starts off at this province here, he can't be revived here. Malus Darkblade actually is revived from Hag Grief. So if he gets eliminated in your Dark Elf campaign, it's actually quite easy to bring him back, as long as you start around here. You can just bring him back from here. Let's see, Lockyer Felhart. He's probably the most difficult to revive because you have to cause a revolt at Chupayotl. Now, it has to specifically be Chupayotl. It can't be any other region in the province. For example, over here we've caused a revolt at Oixel, which is part of the province, and for some reason, Itza comes back. So this is going to have many implications here. But if you abandon these 3 regions here and then cause a revolt, Lockyer Felhart will be able to revive from Chupayotl. So that's one of the more tricky ones to revive because it's a minor settlement. Usually revolts always happen at the major settlement, but because there are some factions out there that their capital settlement is a minor settlement on Mortal Empires, you just have to work at trying to get them back that way. Alright, and then finally, Rakath. Rakath can be revived, but in this particular campaign was started before Rakath was added, but I started another campaign to test it out, and I can confirm 100% that as long as you started the campaign after Rakath was added, Rakath can be revived from the Isle of Wights. He cannot be revived from Concarda. That's where the scalings come back, so you have to cause it here. So every single Dark Elf Legendary Lord can be revived. Okay, Lizards. These are another one that every single Legendary Lord can technically be revived. Okay, Mazdamundi, or Hexawaddle, can be revived from either Isthmus of Lustria or the northern jungles of whatever. So he can be revived at either one of those. Krokgar is revived at the Temple of Skulls over here. Tehenowin is revived at Zlanhopek. Tic-Tac-Toe is revived at Yaluk Oasis over here. Gorok is easy to revive. He can be revived at Itza or Oixel for some reason. Don't know why specifically there, but yep, he can be revived there. And as for Nakai, Nakai is a horde. Nakai can revive himself an unlimited number of times. You just have to wait. If you wait long enough, he will always come back. Even if you have to wait 1,000 turns. It's just a matter of luck of the dice. Because Nakai does have a very high chance of dying in the early parts of the campaign. But he cannot truly ever be 100% eliminated, can't come back. He can always revive himself given enough time. Now, the Skaven. These guys are a bit of an unlucky one. There are very few Skaven that can actually be brought back. So, Clan Moors can't be revived. If you cause a revolt at Karak Orad or Granite Massif, it doesn't bring back Clan Moors. I don't know if there's any settlements around here that revive him, but that's where he starts in Mortal Empires, and he can't be revived from here. Clan Pestilens. Their capital is Oixel, and they don't get revived from here. Instead, Itza gets revived, so Clan Pestilens cannot be revived. Once Skrork is dead, he's dead forever. Clan Scryer can be revived. They are revived at Skavenblatt, but as I said before, excuse me, you have to get rid of most of the Skaven corruption, so it has to be a minimum of 70%, and then Clan Scryer can return. Eshin. Eshin cannot be revived. It just causes a random Skaven revolt. But we've got 100% untainted here. For some reason, Eshin can't be revived. Molder. Molder can be revived at Hell Pit. Same thing, you just have to make sure you get rid of most of the Skaven corruption, and then Clan Molder can come back. And then Clan Rictus. Clan Rictus can't be revived. Oh well, who cares? So, I tried to cause a revolt at Hotek's column. It brings back the Forge-bound rebels. Okay, the Vampire Pirates. All Vampire Pirates can actually be revived. So, starting with Luther Harkon. The Awakening, cause a revolt there, brings back Luther Harkon. You want to bring back Noctilus, cause a revolt at the Galleon Graveyard. You want to revive Sartosa. You want to revive... what's her name? Silostra. You have to cause a revolt at the Monument of the Moon, not at Pahuak. So you have to make sure that the revolt specifically happens here. So that's the trickiest one to revive. Not that you would ever really want to revive her. You can't confederate with the Vampire Coast. And her trait's not really that important, so I don't know why you farm her. But, you know, information for you if that's what you want. Okay, moving on to the Tomb Kings. All the Tomb Kings can be revived. So, Setra is revived from Khemri. Arkan the Black is revived at Wizard Caliph's Palace. Ketep is revived from a minor settlement at the Plain of Spiders. I'm not entirely sure if he can be revived at the Red Desert, but I know for certain he can be revived at the Plain of Spiders, as you can see here. And then there's Khalida. She can be revived specifically at Libaras. Okay, moving on to the Empire. We got Karl Franz. So Karl Franz and Volkmar the Grim are part of the same faction. If you cause a revolt in any region in Reichland, it brings back Reichland. Okay, Gelt is revived from Feildorf down here. Cause a revolt, Gelt comes back. Boris Todbringer. Even though he's not a playable Legendary Lord, I thought I'd put him in anyway because he's kind of a Legendary Lord. He can be revived from Middenheim. Now, Marcus Wolfheart. His start position is Temple of Kara. I'd caused a revolt over here. It just brings back Empire Rebels. So, I don't think that Marcus Wolfheart can be revived. I can't imagine he would be revived at Tlaxlan because that actually brings back Tlaxlan. And I think Tlaxlan also comes back at Thlangsla. So I don't think Marcus Wolfheart can die. Once he's eliminated, he's pretty much gone for good. But luckily for the Empire, Marcus Wolfheart usually survives most of the campaigns. Okay, so that's all the Empire. Moving on to the Dwarfs. These guys are an unlucky bunch. Most Dwarf Legendary Lords can't be revived. Okay, so we start with the main dwarfs, Karaz-a-Karak. If you cause a revolt at Karaz-a-Karak, it always brings back Greenskin rebels. Now, if Grimgor, so as in Grimgor's Ardboys has been eliminated, it actually is Grimgor that comes back from here. Actually, Grimgor can be revived at pretty much any mountain, but we'll get to the Greenskins later. So, yeah, Grombrindle and Thorgrim Grudgebearer cannot be revived, at least as far as I'm aware. Belagar Ironhammer, same problem, can't be revived at Karak-Izor. I don't think he can be revived at all. Ongrim, however, can be revived. If you cause a revolt at Karak-Kedrin, Ongrim comes back. Okay, so the dwarves got pretty unlucky run of luck with being revived. They can't come back. So, moving on to the Greenskins now, like I said, Grimgor can be revived from pretty much any mountainous region. I've seen him come back from Karaz-a-Karak. He can come back at the Black Crag. I've seen him come back at Karak-Norn. He can come back at Karak-Izor. He can basically just about come back from anywhere that dwarfs exist. So Grimgor is very revivable. Excuse me. Next up, we've got Skarsnik. Now, Skarsnik starts at Karak-Azgaraz, but to revive Skarsnik, you actually have to cause a revolt at Karak 8 Peaks, which is actually really weird because that's where the Crooked Moon Mutinous Gits start off, right? And the funny thing is, the Crooked Moon Mutinous Gits, if you wanted to revive them, not that you would, they actually revive from Karak-Azgaraz, so it's a bit mixed up there. It's around the wrong way. Wurzag can be revived from Ekrend, so that's where the Bloody Hands can be revived. Grom, if he is eliminated, he is wiped out forever. So when you start your campaign as Grom, you start off at Massive Orcal, but if you cause a revolt here, it brings back Skull Smashers. And if a revolt was to happen at the Shrine of Loic, it would bring back Eltharion. So Grom cannot be revived. Now, as for Azag, Azag has a similar situation. If Azag is eliminated, he also can't be revived. But Azag usually survives a long time in his campaign, so it's Grom that you really need to sort of get quickly, because he gets eliminated by like turn 10 most of the time. So, only Grom and Azag can't be revived with the Greenskins. Okay, Vampires. So with Manfred and Gorst are part of the same faction, so they can both be revived from any region in Eastern Sylvania. Vlad, if Vlad is eliminated, he is gone for good. Same thing with Isabella. If you cause a revolt at Schwarzhofen, it actually brings back Tempelhof. So we caused a revolt at Fort Oberstyr there, but I've tested that one out before. I can't for the life of me figure out where to bring back Vlad. Heinrich Klempler can be revived from Blackstone Post over here. Pretty easy to bring him back. And the Red Duke can be revived, but you have to cause a revolt at Mousillon specifically. So if you cause a revolt while owning Lyonesse, it brings back Lyonesse. But if I had abandoned Lyonesse here first, then I guarantee you Mousillon can come back. So that would be the Red Duke, Legendary Lord. Okay, Norsca. Norsca got a really bad run of luck. Norsca cannot be revived. None of them can. So, sort of. So, I should say World Walkers can't come back. If you cause a revolt at Icedrake Fjord, it brings back Scaling. If you cause a revolt at the Winter Pyre, it brings back Aisling Rebels. However, and it is possible for this to happen, if Throg is confederated out of Wintertooth into the Aisling, then you can bring him back by bringing back whichever faction they're in. So if for example, World Walkers and Wintertooth both got confederated into the Aislings or into the Sarl over there, or let's see, the Scalings, they can be revived. Not that you would ever really want to bring them back, unless you were playing as Throg and you didn't get Wulfric, then you'd really want to make sure you get him back. But yeah, their actual factions can't be revived. Okay, all Bretonnians are next. Bretonnians can all be revived, so Corone is revived at Corone, any one of these two regions here. So that's real simple. Bordelot is revived from Bordelot. Carcassonne is revived from Carcassonne. Now, the Fey Enchantress, Rapance, has to be revived specifically from Kofa. If you cause a revolt at Al-Haik, it brings back Thegan's Errantry Rebels. So you have to not own Fyrus and Al-Haik and cause a revolt at Kofa, and that will bring back Rapance. Okay, Wood Elves. Okay, all Wood Elves can be revived. So if we have a look over here, don't have a revolt showing it here, but I can guarantee you that Taliesin does revive from Kingsglade. Durthu does revive at Waterfall Palace. Draka does revive from Griffinwood. And the Sisters of Twilight do revive from the Witchwood. Okay, and then the Beastmen have to revive themselves. So once a Beastman gets wiped out, it's the same situation like Nakai. There's no settlement you can cause a revolt to bring them back. They will always come back eventually given enough time. And then the Warriors of Chaos, none of them can be revived in any situation. So once they're eliminated, they're gone for good. And that's every single Legendary Lord covered. Now, if you've got information that contradicts anything that I've said here, by all means, please let me know, and I'm happy to test it out. But I pretty extensively tested every single Legendary Lord, and these are the results that I've come out with. So there's quite a few Legendary Lords that can't be revived. Those are the ones that I'd be curious to know if you guys have any information about how to bring them back. But I'm pretty sure the ones that I've mentioned, once they're dead, they're gone forever. Anyway, I hope this information has been useful for you guys. Appreciate you, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.